don't forget to subscribe for more reviews. Please also like. Thank you!
Hello there everyone, Tom here again, and today we have the privilege of taking a look at the fourth kit from the Build an Enterprise, the Enterprise D. We're looking at stages 11 through 14. Now, for those of you who have been following this build, you may have noticed that we've skipped from 2 to 4. There was a problem with the filming of stage 3, the package 3, and it just didn't do. So there's just nothing really I can do to fix it, and I've tried. So the editing, it's just not possible. So these are the materials. We're going to jump right in here. These are the materials that we get for stage 11. This is obviously a piece of the saucer section. We're going to set that aside for now, and we're going to primarily focus on these things here. We begin by bringing out, the back part of the battle bridge. And what we're going to end up doing here is we take this piece here, which already has the windows and everything already colored in it. We just drop that in right there. We take this piece, figure out the appropriate orientation for it. Is that right? I see, that's funny because it shows going in like this. Oh boy. Alright, so we put this together right here like this, and we're going to connect it together with a couple of BP screws because we're going into plastic. So we got our BP screws here. Let's just open these up. Put those out. Pull out our handy dandy screwdriver here. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get one started because we have to put in the LEDs. So I am going to go ahead and just put this one in right here like this, just so that everything will stay relatively in place. I didn't secure it all the way, just most of the way. And here are our two LEDs. Now they need to separate just a little bit. The wires are going to be a problem for me, just having them floating around. So I'm going to install these in here as best I can. Get in there. There's one. Install this one in here. Get in there. There's two. And since we're screwing these in this manner, I don't really see the need to put a drop of glue. So we won't. We will just get these things started. And these should hold, theoretically, the piece in place. There's one. And got two more down here on the bottom. I get why they do it, but I don't really need a spare screw for each one of these kits. I don't. They could give us one or two and leave it good at that. Why is that not going in there. There we go, it caught. Alright. Just like that. Screw that one in all the way. And that should be good. And I'm sure we'll be testing the lights here at some point. Okay. That's all there is to that section. Now we're going to set it aside. And we've got this set of lights right here, which I'm not sure if we use or not in this section. And we bring out our big thing here. It looks like, if I am reading it correctly, this is going to come in and just be connected right here like this. So I'm going to flip this over here, just kind of lay that down a little bit, pull out our trusty BP screws. I'm sorry, these are BMs. Okay. Oh, that's right. Forgive me, folks. I was thinking we attached this on the bottom, but it actually attaches with the screw holes here on top. So that went in just fine without any oil. Same thing with that one. Went in just fine without any oil. We may be starting us a trend here, and then again, as soon as I say that, it may decide that it has to have the oil to be happy. We'll find out. Alright. Yep. Just like this. Those are in there nice and tight. Just like that. And now we've got, I'd say if we're not there, we're mighty close to finding the width of the saucer section here. Pulling out my old trusty tape measure. It looks like, now I know it's upside down, folks, but it's just based around the way I'm holding it. So far, it's going to be persnickety. I'll do it this way. So far, we're looking at about 18 inches. So that's a pretty good saucer section right there. Alright. To the best of my knowledge, that completes stage 11. Flip the page here, and we go right into stage 12. So hang on a minute, I'll get the stuff for stage 12. So in stage 12, we're working on the other side. We're going to basically do exactly what we did over here, and we're going to take the lighting system that we didn't use in the last stage, stage 11, to work in here. So, moving these aside, we're going to need our trusty BP screws. I'll just open these up here and pour those out so that I can get to them. Alright. And we're just doing, as I said, pretty much exactly what we did just a minute ago. Fold that up so they're out of the way. Bring this little bit in, Center it in there. Pull up this bit. Alright, and it's going to set in right here. Okay. Now we get us one BP screw. Drop it in here and ensure the fact that it lines up and it goes in. We're just place holding right now until we get the lighting in here. So we'll just extend these just a tinch and put them into place. Getting this out of the way. Getting this out of the way. Swinging hopefully this in. I don't think I can do it. I think I'm going to have to try and hold all these in place as I insert this screw here. Gotta tell you, that does not make me feel very good about this. I don't think it's the model's fault. I'm just not, what's the word I'm looking for, very dexterous. So for me, this is challenging. I got all these wires floating around. It's not really helping out our hero. In this reference, in case you were curious, I'm the hero. I'm sure, there we go. I'm sure Nemesis would have something to say about that, but this isn't a Transformer video, so he didn't get to say anything. Re-screwing this in. Get in there. Go to your home, man. There you go. Okay. Now we're going to struggle to get this one into place, because why not? And there's that one. Now we have these two down here at the bottom. Again, BP screws. There we go. I will say these go in at, I don't know if it's a slightly odd angle, but it's not the angle I think they should go in at. So I'm sure the hang up is mine, but they actually go in at an angle instead of going up, which is, like I said, what I would think it would do. But there's that right there. Now we're going to have to flip the page here, and it wants us to test our connection. So we pull out our old battery box and our testing board, and we have several open areas here. Let's see. I do like the fact that they're stressing that we need to test these as we go, because knowing me, I'd build it, I'd put it all together, and it'd be like, oh, by the way, you probably should have been testing these all along. I'd be like, ah! When half of them didn't turn on. Let me be specific here so that everybody knows what I was talking about. And that's what they look like all alighted. So I like that. I like that quite a bit. Okay, I'm just going to disconnect them here. Yep. Okay. Set that aside. Set that aside. Next we're going to be working with saucer section. We're going to be adding another part to it. So we already know we're going to need the BM screws. There's a lot more of the BM screws this time. We're going to be including these sections here. And it appears we're going to do 2 sections on each side. So I'm not sure if it matters. I'm sure it matters. But I don't know if it matters if I use this over here or this over there. They're the same piece. So just for kicks and giggles, I'm going to use this piece right here, and hopefully it will do what it's supposed to do and not make me look bad on camera. That one went in fairly well. Let's see if I can get this one in. There we go, that one's solid. I think this one here can go in a little bit more. Could, and it did. Alright, next we come up here to this one, and apparently this one is going to go in right here, right like this. So once again, grabbing a couple of BM screws, we'll put in this one first, here towards where we already did it before. Just making sure the connection is nice and tight. And we'll put one in right here. Nice and tight. Flipping this around, we will repeat the process we just did right here. So, grabbing one of these, I'm going to come in and get that started. If not, put in most of the way. And we'll bring in the next one here, and we'll pop this one in here like this. One of the things that really I'm looking forward to about this build is seeing how they deal with the lower lip. The panels are going to go on it, but how are they going to do the curve under? Believe it or not, I'm interested in the engineering of this. I want to see how it's going to work and how it's going to come out in the end. And hopefully I shan't be disappointed. We'll just have to wait and see. And as we continue to add these bits and pieces to it, I know I've watched Wayne's other video and the lighting is just massive on this, and I'm not sure how we're going to deal with that. Me deal with that. But however we do it, we'll work on it together. that represents the end of stage 12. Stage 13 begins. We have another frame piece. This, I think, is the impulse engine and some screws. We begin with using the DP screws, and I'll just cut them open here, pull these out. There's 4 of them. What we're going to end up doing to start with is we're going to take our battle section here, our neck section. We're going to take this piece right here, and it's going to fit in without any it shows it going in right like this. So you had to have it lined up absolutely perfectly to make it work, but it did go without any trouble once it was lined up. And then you attach this piece here with 3, as I said, DP screws. One goes right here. This is translucent, so I'm not screwing these things in too horribly hard. I don't want to crack the plastic. Just enough to make it work and stay. So, just enough to make it stay. Not enough to cause trouble. Just like this. Alright, and that's step A. For step B, we pull out, I don't know about this piece yet. For step B, we pull out our saucer here, and we're going to attach this piece to these that we just did using, you guessed it, BM screws. So let me just open this up here. Okay, pour those out. I don't think there's a whole lot in this stage, just looking at it. So, much like usual, we are simply going to put in the screws in the appropriate places. Alright, we'll do one there. Come down and do one here. It was something my dad taught me, and it relates to putting on a tire. You never go all the way around with the tire. You do it at an angle. You'll do this one, then this one, then this one, then this one, and then go around and do whatever you didn't get. This is so that the tire, the rim butts up appropriately and is locked into place with the lug nuts evenly. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I have discovered that those lessons my dad taught me I use in everyday life far more regularly than I ever imagined as an adult than I did as a kid, obviously, when I was learning them, and they didn't have quite as much value. He was just talking. What did he know? Well, come to find out, he knew a whole lot. Let me just flip the page here to make sure that was the end of 13. Yep, that was the end of stage 13. So we'll jump right into 14. So the final stage here in this pack is stage 14, and we get another piece to go on what we just did. BM, CP, BP screws. We have a little clear plastic piece right in this baggie. We get lights, and that's not part of this. So that's what we get. we begin by using this and using the BM screws. So let me open up the BM screws here. Maybe. There we go. Getting those all out. Scooching is a good word in case you need a word sometime. Scooching that out of the way and moving this back in. Now we're going to be assembling this right here to make this look like this. Pardon me. So we start with a BM screw and we do our old tire iron trick, replacing the tire at opposite ends. Okay. Go on in there. Okay. Alright. Now we'll take this one and put it in here. Right in here. Alright. We're making it work here, people. We're making it work. And this right here. All right. Just like that. And that represents, let me back out. Y'all can see the saucer section here. Excuse me. I know we're going to do some more stuff through here. I really wonder how all this is going to work. I think it's going to be really neat to see. Because I think in the next stage, if I remember right, we start putting stuff together. We start putting the panels on. So I'm telling you, I'm really interested to figure out how they're going to do the lip. I think it's going to be really neat to see how they come over. But I digress. I'll set that out of the way. Now the next part of this stage deals with this part right here. And the first thing we need to do is, I think, get this little clear piece out, if I'm reading it right. Okay. Alright. And this is just a piece of clear. Just a piece of clear. It's going to go into this. And it is angled or wider in the center than it is at the base. And it shows it going in. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong. Or is this the white piece? Oh, okay. So I guess this goes in the white piece. And the white piece comes in and sets in right here. That must be a light diffuser. Oh, can't see that. That must be a light diffuser. Alright. And it shows me putting these CP screws in it. But it also shows there's a cover piece, which is this. And it requires, it looks like a cord of some kind. Huh. I've got this little thing here, I don't know what it does. Okay, I'm slightly confused. This comes in like this. and it shows there's a cap piece that goes over top of it. Where's the cap piece? It should be 14D, part 14D. And it comes in, this will fit in I think right like that. But it shows that there's a have I missed a piece? Okay, I should have a piece that covers this that should have a light with it. And the directions say fit the main impulse engine light 14D into main impulse engine reflector 14C and secure it with the BP screw. Okay, I don't mind securing it with the BP screw, but I sure do not see the piece, and I'm relatively, I mean, could it be this? Alright. There's LEDs on this, so I'm going to, it only showed one thing, here. The joy of this is if it doesn't work, then I bet you that's it. Okay, so we need to secure this down with a BP screw. Get off. Alright. So taking a BP screw, I'm going to connect these two together. Just like this. Okay, that's in there. Now this will come in and set just right like this right here, in here. And we're going to connect these to this with the CP screws. So I'll pull out the old CP screws here. Alright. Bring up our screwdriver. It's not looking the best ever was. I end up having to use a different screwdriver. Don't really want to. Alright. So we're going to put the screws in right here. Just like this. Again, we're just making them snug, not tight. We're going into clear translucent plastic, and we really don't want to break this. So we're just putting them in here snugly, not tightly. Alright, now we need to test this to see if it lights up. So we pull out our handy dandy tester. I'm going to turn off my light here. I'm going to zip forward a little bit so you all can see maybe a little bit better. And let's see how this thing works when it's lit up. That looks very nice. That looks very nice indeed. Shall we go ahead and hook them all up so we can get a general feel here? The last little bit before we call it an evening. Do I have enough spots to do them all. I think I do. Little testing board has come in fairly handy here. Yep. Alright, and the one we just did is right here. Alright. So this is what it looks like. All doodadded. Is that a word? I don't think I can reach my lights here. Hang on. Oh yeah. That's very nice. We can really see them now. I suppose if I really wanted to, I could turn off this other one. And we really get a good view of it. Alright. That represents the entirety of this this box that I've gotten. So I'll go ahead and we'll end the video here. Thanks for watching. I'll see you at the next review or build video.
Thank you for watching my Papa's channel. Please subscribe and like. Thank you.